Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. It is night here at the Reptile Barn. The lights are due to turn off in just a couple of minutes, and you can see that these animals have a really good internal clock. This is our female southern white-lipped python, Arwen, and they are very nocturnal. This is probably the most nocturnal species we keep. At least as far as the individuals that we have. Just wanted to show you real quick. What a beautiful creature. But every single evening, they start to come. Oh, there we go. There the lights go. She knew. When she sees me watching, so she's being cautious. But it's pretty interesting that even in captivity, where they don't have predators, there's no wild, climate issues or weather or anything like that they have to worry about, they still very often hold to their behavior patterns that they have in nature. So it's definitely just part of them, genetically part of them. It's not just something that they change as an adaptation to their environment, although of course they are able to do that too. But yeah, so I'm going to go around and look at some of our animals and see what they do at night. Here's Spyro. This is a captive bred male Philippine sailfin dragon. Sorry, the glass is a little smudged. He is up basking, getting a last couple of rays before his lights turn off. I don't have everything on the same timer, so his are a couple minutes later. But my lizards tend to go to bed early, around 6 o'clock usually. They'll kind of fall asleep. However, some of them do sometimes do what he's doing and go get a last little basking time with some UV and everything right before the lights turn off, and that is what is going on with Spyro. This squiggly mass of white snake is breeding, making a total mess of things, by the way. They don't care what time it is. If they're in the mood, they're in the mood. I've heard a lot of people say that their ball pythons breed better at night. I haven't necessarily noticed that is the case. By the way, notice she's in shed. See her eyes there? I have also found, and this isn't a nocturnal thing, but just I have found that my ball pythons will breed still if the female is in shed. They typically will not if the male is in shed. I'm not sure why that is, or if it's just my snakes or what, but I've bred enough of them now that it seems to be a real thing. So anyways, as soon as they finish here, I'm going to clean them out because they have made an absolute disgusting mess. There's poop, there's shed, there's water everywhere. I see flies in there. I, as a rule, do not mess with them and clean them while they're breeding, but it's really disgusting in here. So they often do make a terrible mess while they breed. It's just part of the business. Here is a cute little holdback sailfin that we're hoping is a female who has put herself to bed. This is the cool side, by the way. That light up right above her is only UV. I have noticed that they do tend to like basking sometimes with only UV and not the heat, so we try and give them both. But yeah, she has put herself to bed in her favorite log that she's now outgrown. You can see her tail out one end and her snout out the other end. Just a cute little sailfin has put herself to bed. She's actually been in there for like 2.5 hours. But again, many of my lizards go to bed pretty early. Here is Houdini, the blue tree monitor. He is also sleeping. Up until a few weeks ago, he wouldn't sleep out in the open. He was just too shy. He would tend to sleep inside that, or inside that, or even down on the ground. He would actually dig under the substrate. So we ended up putting some hides down there because he liked being on the ground so much, and he would sometimes sleep under there, which I'm sure was nice and humid. But finally, in the past couple weeks, he's taken to sleeping out in the open more. And there he is. His eyes are open now because I'm in here and he's kind of watching me, but you can see he's just totally relaxed, ready to zonk out. His lights will go off any second. But that is Houdini, the blue tree monitor. And this is a very diurnal species, by the way. They don't really do anything at night at all. And here is a pair of young adult super dwarf retics. Looks like they haven't come out for the night yet, and I have noticed that my retics, while they are fairly nocturnal, it is not nearly as strict as some of my other animals. You know, like all of my lizards except for the gecko are completely and totally diurnal. They do nothing at night. Many of my snakes are very nocturnal, and while the retics do seem to be more active at night, they are out and about all the time during the day. So they just seem to come out when they feel like it. And, by the way, I don't know if I'm even going to get a glimpse of the male. He is on his favorite shelf, as he usually is. Let me see if maybe with zoom... Oh, maybe you can see that right there in the middle of your screen. There's a little bit of color there, kind of a tan color. That is him. That's Hot Rod. And then Cassie is in her favorite spot, and these are definitely their favorite spots. When she wants to rest, that's where she goes. When he wants to rest, let me back out for you a little so you can see better. This thing has 1, 2, and then the floor. Actually, no, there's 3 levels. 1, 2, and 3, and he's always on that middle level where the plants hide him really well, but he's still close enough to the radiant heat panel to get some heat. That's his favorite spot during the day. That's her favorite spot. And then at night, they're just all over the place. But I see them up on the top a lot, basking super close to the heat. I see them just all over the place. They're very active snakes. But right now, it's almost time for lights out, and they are still resting. Here in an hour, though, they're going to be cruising all over this cage. And it's a big one, so they have plenty of room to explore and climb around. They definitely are more active at night, I guess I would say. Here is an enclosure of red-eyed tree frogs that are also extremely nocturnal. Let's see. Their little food bowl. Gonna have to fill that up tomorrow. I'm trying to find one for you. They hide underneath the leaves a lot during the day, so I'm trying to... There's actually 5 of them in here, and they're very difficult to spot unless they're sticking on the... Oh, I do see some on the glass. There's one. You see that one back there? Let me zoom in. So there's one. Again, they are, at least mine, extremely nocturnal. They don't do much of anything during the day, and then they come out at night. I can hear them croaking and chirping at each other. It's super cute. Still don't have a rain chamber, so I haven't got them to breed yet, but they're mature now, so they could, so we gotta get on that. And there you have it. The ball pythons, like this beautiful mystic potion here, they... Honestly, mine at least, do not seem to be much more active at night than they are during the day. They kind of have matched our patterns of activity. I'm sure that in the wild, like scientists would tell you, they are pretty nocturnal, or at least crepuscular, you know, where they come out kind of really, really early morning before it's bright, and then late evening. So kind of a bimodal activity pattern. But here in captivity, and this is just a guess, so no one please quote me on this, but ball pythons have been bred for so many generations in captivity that I wouldn't be surprised if some of those genetic-based instincts have changed You know, there's been absolutely no environmental pressure causing them to, survive better if they're nocturnal. I would guess some of these snakes are 50th generation captives. That might be a little extreme, but ball pythons have been bred in captivity for many, many decades, and there's just no need to be nocturnal if they don't want to be. Hello. What an adorable little animal. But anyways, so my ball pythons aren't that nocturnal. I would say there's a bump in activity at night, but it's not extreme. They often when I am during the day and I'll have tours or whatever, a lot of my ball pythons are awake and I can just pull them out and play with them and show them to people. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when a snake is asleep, I guess, because they don't have eyelids. But anyway, just thought that this would be a fun video. If anyone's ever been curious about, a lot of reptiles are nocturnal, do they still make good pets? Yes, in my opinion, absolutely. I think that especially a captive bred animal that didn't ever establish a necessary sleep pattern in the wild, I think it's a perfectly appropriate pet, and I do not think it's particularly stressful to handle them during the day. If you have an individual or maybe even a species that's so obviously entirely nocturnal, maybe wait till the evening if you're gonna handle them most of the time, But overall, I think that they still make just a marvelous pet, whether it's a nocturnal or a diurnal species. And that is all. I hope that was fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.